It is. Oh, is that the way it is? Oh.
Madam Chair, thanks for your patience. We're ready to go.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I can't see you, but I'm sure you all are there and being the best as you always are. Sorry that I am not in person with you, but I am wishing I was. But yeah, let's get started. I'm going to tab on over to the agenda. Oh, there you all are. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you. All right, tabbing over to our agenda. So I guess I will call this meeting to order at 7:02, and then can we please get a roll call?
Commissioner Slaughter,
Present.
Commissioner Schultz, present. Commissioner Jailing,
Present.
Commissioner Hudson,
Present.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Coleman,
Present.
Commissioner Shrimp, Commissioner Siebert,
Here.
Council Liaison Garitano, and myself. We have a quorum.
Amazing. Alrighty, well, thank you as always for attaching those draft meeting minutes. Did anyone have any questions or updates or anything that needed to be added to those? Great. If I could get a motion to approve our minutes from last month's meeting.
I move to approve the minutes from last.
Perfect. I think I see a second too. So moved. We'll consider those approved. Thank you so much. Alrighty. Moving over to public comment. Besides me, is there anyone else in the Zoom?
Oh, ma'am, just you.
Anyone else in the room that I can't see?
Oh, ma'am, just everybody at the table.
Awesome. Okay, well then, no public comment, and I will let the experts take over. City staff, venue location for 2024.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair and members of the commission, I suspect that if I were to offer you a good land deal somewhere in the southeastern part of America, you would be skeptical. Because I think this is either the third or fourth year I told you that the venue that we've used in the past would not be available due to construction. As of last week, the timeline for construction has changed to January of 2025. So all of our discussions.
So awesome.
End of last year through much of the start of this year about either using the community college site or town center in a hybrid type of situation really isn't applicable any longer. The development is still moving forward. As I described in the memorandum, the gentleman that owns the property and is the primary developer at Cone had engaged a multiple family developer, Green Street Development, to do the complex, the multiple family complex. The way it worked out shortly after they began the process, there were some issues and Green Street Development is kind of going away. So that meant Mr. Cohn was kind of starting at square one. He does have another multiple family developer with a memorandum of understanding. They basically have to start all over with their architecture and some of the stuff.
That's such good news for us. I feel so sad for Ed. Great news for us.
It's bittersweet because obviously there's a lot of people that in our business community are depending on that development. It'll bring new people into town center and in a convenient location for many of our businesses. But tonight, the department has the good news to say we're back where we were last year and the year before. So the department is just respectfully requesting a motion, second, and a vote to approve the new location.
I am so excited. Yes, I see a hand.
No, I thought you asked for the motion.
Oh, yes, you get the motion. Anyone want to second it?
I'll
Well,
second.
we got a second. Okay, all in favor?
Yay.
I feel like we're all so excited. Can we all be the first and the second for the notes just because we're all so thrilled? Just so we can.
Awesome, that's so good.
That's so exciting. on a side note, Joe, do you think that we could, or even if you send it on our behalf, if you could just send like a really heartfelt thank you to Ed? I know that this is probably a bittersweet moment for him, but he's been so kind and gracious in letting us use that space. And so I'm sure he's upset or about the delay in his project, but just really grateful for him and how he's so kind to the city and letting us use this space.
Certainly, if there's no objection, I'll offer it from us here at the city, but also the commission. And just to thank him for his generosity and that we do appreciate it very much. So again, I'd be glad to do that. It's a nice idea, so thank you.
Great. Well, love that. Good news. Moving on to parade components, unless you have anything else on venue locations.
No, just, my word is good. So I apologize, like I say, it's just been, each year we thought we had a project and each year with the developers have spent more and more money. We just keep kind of missing the target. So at least for this year, we'll have our concerts there as well and celebrate Wildwood. So thank you. In terms of the parade, the department again has updated the table to reflect the decisions that were made at our March meeting, as well as just some additional items that we're working on. First and foremost, as you know, we've identified the theme of the parade as well as the overall event. Last month, we chose the two grand marshals, Aaron Fox and Jill Von Gruben. I will reach out to them after tonight's meeting. Been kind of busy with some of the other things, and I wanted to have some time to at least talk with them about, you know, the support they receive from you all as commission members and answer any questions they have about the process. Obviously, with us staying at the location we've used for the past several years, the parade start is now perfect for what we need, and we'll carry forward with that. Ms. Chansky and Ms. Nager have been working diligently on getting all of the different components pulled together. And those components include the different music events, so to speak, that are part of the parade. And for the most part, we feel like we're in a pretty good position this early on, particularly once we nail down the ball parts. So from that perspective, we just keep kind of adding little incremental things to the process as we work through each of the weeks and as we put months behind us towards September. So not much of an update, but we've accomplished a lot in the first few months. And a lot of what we need to do is just start doing that advertising to get people interested and involved. I'll ask if Stacy or Kristen have anything they'd like to add.
I don't think so.
And there is one thing, Madam Chair, from Officer DeGelder, I understand there was a little confusion last year about the escort of the golf carts relative to the mayor, the council members, and others from City Hall to Schnucks. And Officer DeGelder, I think you said you resolved that issue.
Yes, this year everyone will assist as they're going to their locations on the parade route to get everyone to Schnucks, so we have enough people. Because the amount of carts has increased.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll have enough officers to get every intersection.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
And then, as was mentioned at one of our previous meetings, we made some suggestions that the commission endorsed about once we get you all down there, just the organizational standpoint. So it's a little less, let's say, chaotic for you at the start and hopefully a better event for everyone involved. So we'll continue to work on all of those as well.
Great. I feel like we're really like ahead. I onboarded around this time last year, so I feel like I'm not quite so seasoned. So it feels like we're doing great. The only question I had was I was looking at the table, and it was the securing our starting point of Schnucks. and it was saying that was underway. Is that typically like, does it always typically take a while, or do we like find out last minute that we've got it, or?
About now is when we, okay, answer Jim's. About now is when we reach out and then we get together an agreement. We work with Desco to come together with an agreement, but it's typically the same agreement each year. So it doesn't really take us that long. They're very helpful. They're, you know, very accommodating for us, so.
I love that.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I have a question, Ashley.
Yeah, go for it.
When, I know you guys decided, and I wasn't at the last meeting, about the grand marshal and that was voted on.
Mhm.
Is there a chance, we have a gentleman in Wildwood that just celebrated his 100th anniversary, his 100th birthday. He lives right here in, his name's Luther. And actually his birthday was on, leap leap year day, the 29th. So
Oh,
really,
that's kind of cool.
he lives in is the plaza now, they call it. So it's called the
yeah.
plaza. He lives there and I just thought it might be kind of a nice, if he's still around in this, you know, it's his 100th, he's a veteran. And I just thought it'd be kind of nice if we could reach out to him to be something, maybe not, I know you already have a grand marshal, but I just thought, you know, I don't know if he'll see anymore. And I just thought it was kind of neat because he lives right here in the town center. He was on the news.
That's really cool. Yeah, a centurion.
Well, yeah, he was.
Cool.
So.
I know that we oftentimes, within our parade, we offer, spots to like community members and something. Is there a thought that if he had family, we could invite him as
From here,
centurion?
son. I know Phil Luther's his son, and I know they live in Wildwood too, so.
That feels kind of special to add, add them thoughts from the group from the city. I don't want to go rogue. I want to make sure I'm operating within what's possible for you guys.
I think from the department's perspective, Madam Chair, is we offered 9 grand marshals last year. This would, so it's still less than we did last
Yeah.
year and everything went off pretty well.
Great. So, just from the rest of the commission, would thoughts on maybe adding a 3rd grand marshal still in the kind of vein of like Wildwood history? I think being 100 years old sure as heck gives you a stake in history, or just inviting them to participate in the parade. Thoughts on what role we could invite him to participate in?
Veteran, even if we don't want to give him a grand marshal title, then I'm a very veteran, 100 years, you know, Wildwood resident. So.
Cause he's rooted in Wildwood.
Sure has deep roots.
Guess it's the theme of the parade.
Yeah. I think adding him as a grand marshal, again, we had 9 last year, 3 doesn't feel huge. But I think either way, I'll defer to the group, but I also think it feels like a really great way to engage with the plaza. Obviously, we're throwing a big party in their backyard, but for us also to simultaneously celebrate one of their residents, that feels like a good gesture.
Mr. Chairman, would you like to make a motion to add a 3rd grand marshal?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we add 3rd grand, if Mr. Luther would be willing to do it, just to honor him for his 100 years and his service to the country.
Second,
I second that.
thank you, Mr. Seaver. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you for bringing that to us. I appreciate you. Alrighty, so that takes us to update on activities, my favorite document. I love this. Kristen, is this you?
This is me.
Yay!
Have moved along here. I can report some new items that have been started. We discussed the location. We haven't yet touched on volunteers. We will do that when we get closer, as we normally do. Bistro lighting, we already have that scheduled. We're just going to notify them of the change location, which is exciting for us. Of course, we have Officer DeGelder, who's handling all police services, so we know we're in good hands. All the basics are all completed on schedule. Location, Mr. Vunich discussed the parade. The application is open for parade participants. We haven't yet thrown it out there yet, so that one's new. Let's see, Grand Marshal, we'll go ahead and add Mr. Luther. And the exciting part, you'll see we have opened the food and drink applications, as well as artist applications and authors and nonprofits and government entities. And we already have a few food vendors and artists that have signed up too. So we're excited. We have some of our regulars back. I think probably all of these on our list are all from last year. Shish Kebab had a last minute change, so they were unable to make it, but I think the rest of these were all here last year. So we have some of our favorites on the list.
Is Tipsy Clover, is that a like alcohol vendor?
Yes.
It
Yes.
sounds fun.
They were there last year and they had a signature cocktail. So
Are they in a little white trailer?
yes, little horse trailer. Yep. So yeah, I believe they did really well and
Oh, I know
they.
they did really well.
They were also the ones that sponsored the little Squishies baby changing station that we had over in the kids area. So they're going to,
Oh.
yeah, they're offering that up again.
Squishies.
Yeah, so
So cute.
I think that was great for the younger families out there with the younger children. The interpreters for the deaf, actually, that contract was completed, I believe, today.
Today.
Yep, so that one's good. See along, I've reached out back to the pony lady, and seeing if we can put her back on the schedule.
We have space for the pony. What a great night.
Please, so, and as well as Jolly Jumps, because they were trying to fit over here, and she's very excited as well that we have full space over there. So, and of course, the climbing wall. So we'll have everybody, hopefully, that we've had last year. Clowns, Jolene Jeff. Also sponsorship. We have opened the sponsorship application online. And we will complete the letter to the businesses this week. We have the business list, so that will go out this week. So we're getting excited for that. And as you see, booth commitments, 11 artists, 1 author, 2 government, and 1 nonprofit. So they're registering as well. And Ms. Schultz was kind enough to send us the John Burroughs list, which there are some neat looking. Stacy and I kind of started looking at that list. There look like some really nice vendors on there that we'd like to reach out to. Is that okay?
Oh,
So-
100%. And
okay.
if you want to just send me the list before, I
Okay.
know some of them personally and I'd be
Perfect.
happy to
Perfect.
put in a good word.
All right, awesome.
Some great people on there.
Okay, awesome. And advertising, Mr. Vunich had talked about last month about the Queenie Park Airfare, Art Fair, that we had placed the ad in. So, and there will be one more in the August edition. And the light pole banners, our next one, will have the Hometown Heroes back up again. So, and we have a few new Hometown Hero banners that will be going up this time, new in addition to last year. As you know, we had the event poster completed last month as well, so that's gonna start being distributed as well and posted. So I think that's about it. If anybody has any questions? Yes.
So what are we deciding on the beer tent?
Well, Athletic Association submitted their check, it was just under $400. I want to say maybe $389. And they're very interested in participating.
Do you think that was a fair amount? I'm just curious what you think.
They've never shared exact numbers over the course of the number of years that they've participated. But I try to take it in the context, they start at 11 and they go to 9, so it's about a 10-hour window. And we had wine and we had other beverages. I think it's pretty reasonable. I guess I don't want to think that they didn't provide an accurate assessment.
So do they pay a fee now? Will they be paying the fee? So we'll make money on that part, the vendor $100, I believe.
As of
Yes.
last year, for the direction of the commission, we started charging the Condo Association the same fee as everyone. So in total, we got about $500 from them.
I just was curious.
It took a bit, but we got it.
Yeah, it did take a while. All right.
Were
And yeah,
there,
St. Albans, it's not, theirs is gonna be over Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
So it won't be anywhere near ours, so there's a 2-day event over Labor Day.
Good.
I assume you all still do a church bulletin, like St. Margaret.
Uh-huh.
Is there any way we could get it? Did they sell advertising in the back?
Yes. Yep, I'll bring you one next
If you
meeting.
wouldn't mind, then I can reach out to the company or whoever manages the ads.
I just had a quick question. I know that we made some concessions based on space, like our ponies. Were there any other space concessions that we made that we need to go back and make sure I know Jolly Jumps, you said we were able to get the full layout. Anything else that we made concessions on?
It was really the number of booths that we're going to be able to fit over there. And so we tried to squeeze as many as we could over. So we know now that that can be back up to normal level as we did last year. Even food, it's like, okay, and we really stressed that in our application of, hey, we have a smaller space. That's why I think we got some good registrations, right? That we have limited space this year. So I think that was really it, was ponies, a little bit less space for Jolly Jumps and less booth space overall for everybody. So
My other thought that I had recently while I was in town center was, I don't know if we limit the number of food vendors we have, but maybe adding an extra 1 or 2 now that Benedetto's is not going to be in our space, just because I know my husband and I depend on a pizza from Benedetto's at 7 o'clock every year. So just knowing that they are one of the large food vendors that are, usually there, just making sure that we help fill that gap if there were ever limitations on food vendor numbers.
Yes, obviously they filled a void at the end of the event that some of the other vendors, as they used their stock, couldn't. So it's a good suggestion, and certainly we'll do our best to fill that area to the brim, so to speak.
Great.
I do have one question, thoughts from everyone is, as far as duplicates of food being offered from vendors, would you like there to be a limit of hot dogs or a limit of people who are selling nachos or things like that? We kind of keep an eye on that, so we're not flooding the market with everybody selling hot dogs. But I know some people get upset if somebody else is selling pretzels or selling that. So what would you like us to do as far as potential duplicate foods being offered?
Is it possible to know in advance what they're planning on serving?
We ask that in the application, so we kind of see what they're offering.
Was there a lot of overlap last year?
Not a
I don't-
ton. We had a report of ice cream was one of the comments. And I think there were really just 2, I think the pulled pork, Lily's and Barbecue Society. I don't think Barbecue Society ever has an issue. They sell out. But maybe nachos, chips and salsa, pretzels. I think
The thing that's hard is that our lines are always so long, and so part of me is always like, yes, if there's duplicates, that's great, but I know that like, you know, when we bring our nephew, it's like no matter who has the hot dogs, I don't care. I'm going to whatever line is shortest because I've got a 2-year-old with me and we gotta get through before he riots. So I feel like most of them sell out. I feel like by the end of the night, it's, you know, most people are, I don't know.
They go to one that's open. They go to
Right? Yeah. I just, yeah, it's,
Did last year. We just were there till 9 and we just went to whoever was still open and bought stuff, so.
We do have one of the vendors that was there last year offering lemonade this year. So it's like, you know, they're gonna cut into the sourpusses market, but it's a little bit of different lemonade, different flavors and stuff like that. So it's a, you know,
There's gonna be crossover.
Yeah, with everyone.
A lot of
Okay.
them for this type of event, type of food offered, but.
Would we be interested in doing any kind of food trucks? It's like, since we don't have Benedito's, maybe reach out to the food truck businesses.
we haven't reached out to the food trucks, but Lily's is a food truck. I think that's in Kona, but you know, that's not.
Yeah,
that's
the cones
Shaved
right there.
ice, it's not
Yeah.
a food.
But I mean, I think there's food trucks that have pizzas. I mean, I'm just
Mhm.
thinking of things if you want to make up for not having the Italian anymore.
Right.
I know that,
Can.
yeah, I think we should reach out to some food truck companies because they could line up with Benedito's in the back of
Yeah.
it.
They don't have to be based out of Wildwood, they can be from anywhere.
Yeah.
Ucraft has a great truck.
oh, yes, they do. Yes, they go to the farmer's market in the city. They do great things.
I think they're out of business.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of them though that, you know,
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
I just think we need some variety and we're losing such a big one. That would be kind
Yeah.
of, you know.
I have a question. Another thing, not exactly Italian food, but has anyone reached out to the creamery that does the ice cream there by Danvers? Wouldn't that be good for their business if somehow they could be a part of this, you know, like maybe have ice cream in cups and they could sell ice cream there because there's so many kids?
the Silver Spoon was here last year, and that's the one that's over by Wildwood Pub. We've
don't
reached
know
out
that
to
one.
Main Street Creamery a bunch. We don't really get a response.
Oh,
Yeah, and we go over there, we'll go into
okay.
the store and we just don't.
I thought it would be good for their business too. More
Mhm.
people would, you know they're there.
It's very busy.
The Wildwood location is their second or third location. I think their home base is out of St. Charles. So I
Okay.
think that's really where they're, you know, that's really where they kind of like do their city events, which is a bummer because Wildwood is awesome and they should come do our stuff. But I think that's why we don't ever hear back from them.
Oh, okay. That's too bad.
Madam Chair, with your permission, we typically reach out to all the local restaurants.
Mhm.
Consistent response we get is thank you, but we have trouble staffing our brick and mortar location.
Yeah.
So we can't pull people away from there to be at your event all day. And we understand that, but we'll always make the overture because obviously we'd love to have the local food vendors at our event. It's a good partnership.
I like that. Would we ever consider letting them do like either like a lunch or a dinner? So if they were ever like, it's all day, that's really hard. But if we just said, if you want to come do a catered, you know, lunch or maybe not all day. If that's a setup nightmare and like taking up a booth for half a day doesn't feel worth it, we can totally trash that idea, but just a thought.
Well, we've had some food vendors do it without our permission. They double book themselves and then all of a sudden,
They're pulling out, yeah.
and usually that's a little unsettling to the other vendors because they're like, what's going on?
Truly,
And
yeah.
Kind of discourage it actually,
Wait,
just because.
Yeah.
But
context is super helpful. I'm with you.
But Madam Chair, if the commission wants us to investigate it and come back at the May meeting, we'd be glad to do it. Like I said, it's your event. It's just, as I say, we've had a couple of people we were counting on leave and then before the event actually even started, so to speak, and it's like, now what?
Right.
So,
I think that we go with what we know works and not do that. And then maybe in, July, if we don't feel like we're in a good place for food, then we can like reassess if that is, if that is a make or break for some of our locals, but that can totally be like a panic plan B, which we won't need because Kristen's already got half the place sold out with food vendors. That's such a long list. So, great.
yeah.
Anything else on activity updates in that project document from the commission? Great. Moving on to other considerations, event promotions.
Madam Chair, with your permission, just to summarize, we're going to do our best to fill that food vendor area up as much as we can. And if there is some overlap between vendors and what they offer, that's okay. The idea being is with the long lines, even if there is some duplication, we want to make our attendees happy and not have to stand in line for an extended period of time. We'll also revisit the July meeting, how we're doing on that moment. And if we need to, we'll reach out and see if there are other vendors that would want to do either part of a day or be in that meeting. Hopefully there are any specifics, but I just want to make sure we get them noted so we can address them and get them back to you with some responses. So thank you. Madam Chair, with your permission, I'll jump into event promotions. So, as you know, last year, we were very successful on many levels regarding the promotion of the event. From the perspective of the department, I think just as a single day event, only being Celebrate Wildwood, it was probably one of the best attended events we ever had. Obviously, a lot of that goes along with the weather. As the years passed, when we doubled it up with the art festival, obviously the crowds were greater because we had both the Celebrate Wildwood event and the art festival in conjunction with each other. The commission's been very accommodating with some of the new ideas, being putting in information about our event for vendors as well as attendees at other events to come to Wildwood September 21st. First of those is Queenie Art Fair. And you also said if that we feel that was a successful effort, we could do it for Webster, Lowmeyer, and Belleville, which are the other three major ones that are upcoming. And so we'll give you an update as we move along, find out the results of our effort. Tonight, the department has several items I'd like to discuss with the commission member relative to event promotions. The first is, and bear with me as I explain this, the thought was that as we have our upcoming events, we do drawings where a group of individuals, whether it's half a dozen, whatever it may be, get a Celebrate Wildwood shirt prior to the event. And we ask them if they attend future events to wear that so people can see it and they can ask the questions about it. And if they show up in their shirt at Celebrate Wildwood, we give them a free meal ticket as a reward for their participation. So the idea here is to get the shirts done a little earlier than normal, get them on people that are attending our events, and we know most of them. And we probably can make the assumption we'll have a lot of regulars at our events again this year. And then that way they get a shirt, they can put it on right away and they can start promoting the event. Not so much from us as the commission and team members, but as a resident of Wildwood or an attendee at an event supporting us. So that's the first one. The other is at our summer concert events, we asked the band at the conclusion of their break and before the second set starts, have a list of short talking points. Hey, you like this event? Don't forget the big event for the city of Wildwood is September 21st. Here's what they have. Put it on your calendars. It's a great event, and maybe have a QR code at some of the booths so that they can say, go over to the booth, read the QR code, you'll get more information. I think obviously our summer concert series, we have 1,500 to 2,000 people at them these days. So it's a great opportunity to basically sell the event through someone that obviously people are coming to see and are listening to. This one, the third one is we have our plein air event scheduled for the first Saturday in May. We do winners in the traditional category, which is painting. And then we do it for photography, and then we have honorable mentions. So the idea is maybe we offer them a reduced cost on the booth to come participate at the Celebrate Wildwood. I think we'd be very impressed with some of the things we see from those artists, not only just what they did at our plein air event, but it seemed they attend a number of other plein air events and also do art as a primary hobby or occupation. And so from that perspective, the thought was we have a group of good artists that we know are worthy of receiving awards because it's a juror event and the jurors are experts. And so the thought was, why don't we get them involved in our event? The next item is once a month during the farmer's market. We have a booth at the farmer's market where we do promotion of Celebrate Wildwood. We have applications for the parade, applications for vendors, information on the events, so that for the most part, as the farmer's market brings people to town center, we can basically use that venue to advertise the event in September. And then finally, I think we can do better with our social media. I'm not criticizing any of the past efforts. I'm just saying it just seems like we need to explore Instagram a little bit more, I think, not necessarily Twitter, and stay with what we've done on Facebook. But I just think we can do more, and we need to do it in more, I think, planned effort, so that we're hitting key moments along the timeline from now, let's say, till September 21st. So those are some thoughts that the department had, and I'd like to pitch them to you, so to speak, get your feedback. Some you want to do, great. If some there are you don't want to do, that's fine too. We're really here just trying to find the right mix of things to promote the event. So I'll turn it back to the chair and ask for feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go. Great list. Let's just make sure we hit all of them. Why don't we just go chronologically? So we can start with A, the idea of beginning series with drawings of upcoming events with the t-shirts. I love that idea. We're going to get the t-shirts printed anyway, so it just seems like it's a timing thing. So just doing it a little bit earlier, and yeah, I think that's an awesome idea. Any thoughts from the commission? Great. I'm pretending like you all have huge smiles on your face and that you love it too.
That's a good idea.
Other commission members will get a t-shirt as well.
Oh, there's the smiles. Now I can see them from the back of your head.
You know, just I know you want to do it, but you know, at the farmer's market, I think if we had a booth and we sold shirts at the booth for Celebration
That's
Market,
an idea.
because people are asking, you know, I never was able to buy this shirt that Mrs. Siebert has on, and I would have liked to have one of those sweaters. So I think
On
we
the
don't,
website.
yeah, we need to have them physically where people will come by and buy it. I think we need to push swag.
Push swag. I like that. Okay.
I don't see a lot of Wildwood swag. I don't, so.
Yeah, you gotta like be a runner. You gotta be one of those crazy people who does those hikes and all
Yeah.
that craziness. What about t-shirts for us who don't run, Joe? Come on.
You got yours. You gotta celebrate what, come
I know,
on.
I do. I'm speaking for the other non-runners of the world. Those sweatshirts that you guys got for the cold run, those were very nice. I was very jealous of those.
I think
Okay, let's go to B just so we can do chronologically. Bands, love that idea.
And selling stuff, you know, we could take turns, the commission, if they want, to sit at the booth at the farmer's market and promote the Celebrate. I'd be happy to do a weekend, you know.
You could do that.
So it's for, if we do one in September before the event, it's five times. If we just do it once a month, which I think is
Yeah,
enough.
Yeah.
And so, and I wouldn't have suggested it if I thought, oh, I'll do it at least once or twice. I should come out to the farmer's market. I'm probably absent more than I should be, so. But yeah, if there's others that want to volunteer, I like the idea of the t-shirts, because we were advertising last year the pullover, the long sleeve pullover for the day. And I can't tell you how many people asked me, and I'm sure they did to you, can I buy that? And I think people want to buy something when they're there.
well, they
so.
came to our booth a lot last year, our information booth looking for stuff, so I know.
Even
it sells
those,
stuff. And it doesn't, you don't have to put a date on it, so then it doesn't, can go from year to year, you know, that way you can.
I think if you had a little bit of a variety too,
Mhm.
those
Well-
little knit jacket things that zip up that had the little logo here. I get asked about that all the time.
One of the things we're doing now is we're getting both men and women's
Hmm.
sizes. So we're not expecting women to wear men's or that unisex, the proverbial unisex. So we do that as well for some of our events now. I think if we're going to do this, I think that's the approach. And yes, maybe we do a short sleeve and a long sleeve.
Mhm.
So it sounds like we're all on board for the drawing in the early t-shirts, the band summer series, talking and promoting during their sets. We're all very team D, which is the city farmers market. Love that. I think social media, the more we do is great. I feel like the city's Instagram has gotten a lot more engaging over the last couple months. I feel like the use of Canva, I see it, I love it. So, if I agree, I think we could utilize that more for our event. The only one we haven't talked about is the winners of the plein air event. Booths half off. I think especially now that we're not working with limited booth sizes, I think that's great. And I also think, to your point, we know that they're very talented because it's a judged event, and the fact that they're winning the plein air event clearly says that they're a high caliber. So I like that idea, and as long as you think that it's financially solvent, and I think that's a good one. Anyone have any other thoughts on the offering winners from plein air? They half off the booths.
What about also at the concert series, if we, like, I know where you guys are giving out popcorn and stuff, if we had information there for Celebrate Wildwood, and if you want to have shirts or something there too. I mean, that's a big group of people that I just think that's another place, if you want to have the Celebrate Wildwood shirts there already. I think we'll sell some of that I go to every music series there is, so it's got great turnout, so.
Well, and Madam Chair knows this, the Historic Preservation Commission is going to probably do a double booth, at least at the May concert, and have information on some of the history activities, but also we're going to be selling the book. So maybe we'll try at the May meeting. The Historic Preservation Commission wanted to do a test first before they committed to the other 3 concerts. And so maybe that's what we do, and see how the sale goes, and we'll go from there.
And that's another thing, if you want, may have a list of volunteers, if you want, somebody wants to come and sit for an hour before the concert starts and sell t-shirts and promote Celebrate Wildwood, I'd be happy to do that. Sounds like a good parking spot, and could get my chair if I want.
Yeah. If you put a cone out for me for a good parking spot, I'll sit anywhere you want for an hour or 2. Mr. Bunick, sorry, more formal. Amazing. Okay, great. Well, it sounds like we're all really on board with all of the other considerations for your the event promotion. Thank you for putting that list together. Can anyone, before we hop off this topic, think of any other unique places, any other unique ideas for promotion, as we're kind of thinking out of the box right now? Or tonight, when the inspiration strikes, I'm sure the city would field our emails, so.
Certainly. And at the next meeting in May, Madam Chair and members of the commission, we'll put all of the components together in a single list. The traditional things we've done, like the yard signs and the posters that we hand out and the postcards and the placement in the businesses. We'll put it all together so you have a complete list. Because we've now added, if with concurrence on these 5 plus the other we did previously with the art fairs, we've added a good number. The only other question I have, and it has been controversial, but we've not used it, is TikTok. And I don't know what you all think about that as a tool to get information out, short videos about Celebrate Wildwood. And we could do some at our concerts and say, if you like this, scan the crowd, hear the music, come to Celebrate Wildwood. But I know it's controversial, so that's why I ask.
Still a lot of people that use it though.
What's
That's true.
this position on TikTok?
It's currently, so it's passed through the federal House, but not the Senate to have basically a forced purchase. It's currently owned by a Singaporean media company, and so they're trying to force a purchase for data concerns. So it's currently under some federal legislation, and there's like a talk of if this purchase doesn't happen, that TikTok would actually be banned in the States. It's a long way from it happening. It's still gotta get through the Senate, which I don't think it will. I have a couple friends who are still on the Hill who are, it's all the rage with all of my friends in DC, but it'll get appealed and da. So I think we're 2 years away from actually seeing any like movable legislation. My only thought, Director Vunick, is I know that the geo marketing for Meta, which would be Instagram Reels, is much more reliable than the geo marketing for TikTok because of some of that data stuff. So that would be my only, I love the idea of using any social media, but just making sure that, because it only really benefits us is if it gets to people within a specific location. So if the we would essentially have to do paid TikTok marketing so that the algorithm would geolocate to people we would want to reach, if that makes sense.
Well, we have familiarity with Instagram. I wouldn't say I do, but like Tom Lee, our city administrator, our senior planner. So it's something we know, but I didn't want to not at least roll that rock over a little and at least explore TikTok. But maybe with our staffing, we should focus on Instagram this year and kind of see how successful we are there.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I think if we want to do short form videos, Instagram has Reels, which are very similar to TikToks. And we, again, it's something that the city is already doing. It already has a decent following. And so expanding the type of content on the platform that you're already building feels like it might be more fruitful. And just being respectful of your guys' like bandwidth. You guys are superheroes, but you all have limits, you know, don't want to add something else to your plate.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate the direction.
Yes, of course, Stacy.
Hi, I just had a quick thought of maybe we could throw we have a lot of old bingo shirts from last year's scavenger hunt. If we could maybe throw them to the stage, to the crowd at the concerts.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That's so fun. I love that.
Cardinals.
So have the paramedics throw.
Yeah.
Get the water balloon launcher. That's what you use. Water balloon launchers. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, surely someone in Wildwood has a t-shirt gun. We're 35,000 people. Surely one person has a t-shirt gun. Just kidding. Well, great. I just had one other note, one other consideration, not on this topic. Is this a good time, or were we still talking, or do you have any more on the marketing considerations?
Oh, please.
So I know that Commissioner Shrimp said that she was not going to renew after her term ended in December of 2023. Who do we talk to about getting her spot filled? Is that something that we bring to, who do we talk to about that?
Well, at this coming Monday night city council meeting, the mayor is promoting a candidate for Ward 7.
Right,
So there'll be, if all goes well, there'll be a new member at our May meeting.
wonderful.
And I believe that is for Holly's position.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Great, okay. I'll be there on Monday, so hopefully they are too, so I can meet them.
If you're wondering, always start with the mayor on that. Typically what Mayor Bolin has said, and I'm sure he said it to all of you, if you're interested, fill out the form on our website. And he takes those forms and reviews them. So yeah, always start with the mayor.
Great, awesome. Well, I'm glad that spot is getting filled. So great, thank you for letting us know. Alrighty, looks like our next meeting date is May the 1st. And anything else from the room?
Just thank you all for attending. We do appreciate it. Hope you come up.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, Jenny.
Perfect, thank you. And a second.
A second.
Love that. All right. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you all very much. Have a good rest of the week.
Don't put my coffee.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I'll be in person next time. This is the no fun way to attend meetings. Okay.